Two.
Welcome to our service for Sunday, May the 3rd. I am Ginger Harris, your service associate for today. Welcome you questioners, seekers of truth with a capital T, pilgrims longing for sanctuary, travelers needing harbor from the storm. Welcome those who are holding on by a thread, determined breakers of the chains of loneliness and isolation. You push through your fear because something told you that you deserve to belong. Welcome home. Welcome those who braid ropes again and again. You've been here for our siblings who were just hanging on. You gave them a hand into the community and told them they could rest here. Welcome you who seek spiritual and religious community for your children and grandchildren. You entrust your young people here, and we, as a community, commit to nurture and respect them. Welcome children and youth. You give us the gift of your wisdom, your joy, your curiosity, and your trust that we will hold all of this safe. Welcome. Welcome home. How do we make this tender place wider? How do we stretch into a bolder welcome, a radical generosity of the heart? Can we imagine ourselves the stewards and ushers, not only into this space, but into our circle of belongings? Can we commit and recommit to being accountable to one another as an anti-racist, anti-oppressive community that centers marginal voices, that listens to those voices, especially when what they say is hard to hear? Can we be willing to change? When we break our agreement with one another, can we offer amends? Can we be humble and generous? There is grace enough here. There is, in this place, the possibility of healing, of repair, of making things right within ourselves, between us, and with the wild world. There is, in this place, possibility. Welcome home.
Come into the light. There's a place for you here, and you'll be alright with your friends gathered near. Reach up for the heights. There is wisdom in the air. Come into the light. Let your heart lead you there. Let us turn to our story for all ages by Barbara Rosen.
Hello, I have a poem for you today by Shel Silverstein, and it's called Help. I walked through the wilderness, and what did I see but a unicorn with his horn stuck in a tree, crying, "Someone, please help me before it's too late." I hollered, "I'll free you." He hollered back, "Wait, how much will it hurt? How long will it take? Are you?" I hollered, "I'll free you." He hollered back, "Wait, how much will it hurt? How long will it take? Are you sure that my horn will not scratch, bend, or break? How hard will you pull? How much will I pay? Must you do it right now? Or is Wednesday okay? Have you done this before? Do you have the right tools? Have you graduated from horn saving school? Will I owe you a favor? And what will it be? Do you promise that you will not damage the tree? Should I close my eyes? Should I sit down or stand? Do you have insurance? Have you washed your hands? And after you free me, tell me what then? Can you guarantee I won't get stuck again? Tell me when. Tell me how. Tell me why. Tell me where. I guess he's still sitting there. Have you ever been this afraid? What do you think?
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the light of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the light of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Our words of inspiration today come from Barbara Kostreva.
Welcome. Welcome. Our words today come from the prose of David White and poet Roshani Ray. Even the longest, strongest marriage has had its heart broken many times, just in the act of staying together over the years. Heartbreak begins the moment we are asked to let go, but cannot. In other words, it colors and inhabits and magnifies each and every day. Heartbreak is not a visitation, but a path that human beings follow through even the most average life. But heartbreak is an indication of our sincerity in a love relationship, in life's work, in trying to learn a musical instrument, in the attempt to shape a better, more generous self. Heartbreak is a brokenness out of which comes the unbroken, a shatteredness out of which blooms the unshatterable. There is a sorrow beyond all grief which leads to joy, and a fragility out of whose depths emerge strength. There is a hollow space too vast for words through which we pass with each loss, but out of whose darkness we are sanctioned into being. There is a cry deeper than all sound whose serrated edges cut the heart as we break open to a place inside which is unbreakable and whole while learning to sing. And now we will have a moment of silence.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in our wind, rise in the sea. Giving life the shape of justice, roots where we close, Today I've chosen for our special music an instrumental piece called The Homecoming by Haygood Hardy, who did most of his composing in Ontario, Canada, and he won several Juno Awards for his music. It is time for the offering to be given and received for the work and welfare of our church. Please donate at uutarpon.org or send your check to 57 Reed Street. The rest of the address is there on your screen. Dona nobis pacem pacem, dona nobis 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 pacem. Our speaker today for the message of the day is Mark Hopkins, and the message will be Homecomings of the Heart.
Thank you, Bonnie. I want to tell you about 3 happenings I refer to as homecomings of the heart. One is personal and took place in the past. The second is with an extraordinary community and is happening in the present. The third is planetary, and it takes place in the future. 20 years ago, I had a heart attack. It was scary, traumatic. I was wiped out for a long time. Plus, I was riddled with anxiety and fell into a deep depression. I felt betrayed. I know that sounds strange, but I felt like my body, in particular my heart, had left me unprotected. I was at odds with my own heart, like a friend that you've had a falling out with and are no longer on speaking terms. My therapist recommended a book called The Mindful Way Through Depression. It came with instructions for a body scan exercise in the form of a recorded voice by one of the co-authors, Jon Kabat-Zinn. The book jacket said he was a graduate of MIT, held a PhD, was the developer in conjunction with the University of Massachusetts Medical School of mindfulness-based stress reduction to address stress, pain, and chronic illness. The body scan exercise starts with paying close attention to just one tiny region of your body, like your right foot, and mindfully noticing any sensations, warmth, coolness, pressure, and so forth. After some time, you're asked to dissolve that region in your mind's eye and move to another, say your left foot. And so it progresses, with Jon Kabat-Zinn gently guiding attention to legs, and then hips, and then abdomen, and then is where panic set in. Then is when I realized he's about to work his way up to my heart. In no way was I ready for that. I thought about getting up. I thought about giving up. I was actually kind of freaking out. But something invitational, something bigger than fear kept me going. Maybe it was Jon Kabat-Zinn's voice as he said softly, "Now as you are able, relax into the breath, allow the warmth to bathe the region of your chest." I don't know. Maybe I was more ready than I realized. Or maybe it was a change of internal season. At any rate, I experienced a profound shift. Fear itself dissolved. I felt something I had not felt in quite a while. I felt whole. I whispered, "Welcome back, old friend. We had quite a scare. We hit the pause button for a while. Now I believe we can accept our condition. You know what? I think we just experienced a homecoming of the heart." Well, that was then. Now in 2020, I'm in the process of undergoing another homecoming of the heart. Only this time I'm experiencing it in conjunction with thousands of others. And once again, Jon Kabat-Zinn is at the center of this emerging possibility. Every weekday for the past 5 weeks, Jon Kabat-Zinn has led an online mindfulness gathering. He's come to call it a mitigation retreat. He's joined by literally thousands of people from all over the world. He offers guidance to drop into mindfulness, which he also calls falling awake. He shares wisdom about facing the full catastrophe of life with courage, compassion, and equanimity. He responds to questions and inquiries with uncommon sincerity and openness. With each and every interaction, I feel we draw closer. I sense a movement of a collection of hearts, the heart of humanity. Twice a week, we break into small groups. I've been with people from Ecuador, United Kingdom, Lebanon, Japan, and many more places. I've been with people who have the coronavirus. I've been with many who are struggling with isolation. I've been with quite a few who are soaring, enjoying their newfound freedom, the slower pace, and everything in between. We are, in a very real sense, a community. There is a closeness that comes with compassion and caring that no amount of physical distance can take away. John Kabat-Zinn has at times said that heartfulness would be as good a term as mindfulness. So my second homecoming of the heart is one that I'm sharing with my new global Sangha. One thing this group has acknowledged over and over is that we think we'll never return to the way things were. What does that mean, and what possibilities does it hold for the future? Well, Kara Swisher, who covers technology for the New York Times, writes about America 2.0. She says the COVID crisis may in fact provide unique opportunity to reshape business, society, health, and more in this country and throughout the world. And David Griffiths, director of Amnesty International, has said, the pain of the COVID-19 pandemic is upon us, and we all may experience unimaginable loss. But we will have gained something too, a choice. When we emerge from this collective trauma, we can choose to go back to our old trajectory, or we can learn from this experience and make different choices for the future. I know we've all heard numerous voices echoing a similar sentiment. The most significant call for the future came to me from an unlikely source, my brother. Why is it significant? Well, first of all, he's the total opposite of me. He is a dyed-in-the-wool Republican. He's a right-wing conservative, a proud gun owner. And among all the differences, he can actually build and fix things. You see, my brother is a PhD in mechanical engineering and has been the Dean of Engineering at Texas A&M and Florida International. And one thing I've always admired about him is his work as a futurist. He's been instrumental in designing structures and cities and institutions, and he's good at thinking and seeing the future. So I asked him for his opinion. And here's what he said. I'll encapsulate the comments of my arch conservative brother, who said, the environment's going to be the big winner. We'll realize we're fine without consuming as much, driving as much, owning as much. We'll be even more immersed in the world of electronics and technology now that we've seen the implications in every facet of life. He went on that we'll continue to see more clearly how we're all connected. Some of what we held on to as individual freedoms will be let go of for the sake of safety and protection. He said our nation and probably the whole world will be leaning to the left as we seek to close the gaps that have left too many behind. The wealth has gotten too concentrated in the hands of too few, and that needs to change. Now, still being my brother, he went on to say, however, this is no time for you liberals to go nuts. You need to come forward with cogent solutions and rational arguments. The way he phrased it was, no AOC nonsense. He said the healthcare system will be overhauled, this time from the delivery side, not the payer side. Remember, he's an engineer, so he said this system badly needs re-engineering. And the final point I'll share with what he said, and he emphasized that he never thought he would say this, is that he misses Barack Obama. I'm glad I was already sitting down. Nonetheless, I asked if he would care to repeat that. He said, don't get me wrong. I still like conservative policies better. However, you can't develop strategy for something as complex as we're facing in a leadership vacuum. We have to do better. Just remember, this is coming from Mr. Conservative, who in his own words said he sees the curtain being pulled back. Are we on the brink of a planetary homecoming of the heart? I feel hopeful that we are. As UUs, we are uniquely positioned to play our part. Our 7 principles could actually be the new declaration of interdependence to guide us forward. Let me share just a few words from my guide throughout these homecomings, John Cabot-Zed. He made these comments on one of our recent Zoom calls. He said, "When we began these offerings just a few weeks ago, we didn't know where it might lead. We just knew we wanted to share something positive. I'm humbled and grateful that it has emerged into something powerful. This world of ours is out of joint, and every one of us, in the way we touch many, many others, has the power to put things right. We'll come out of this having learned lessons for ourselves, for our children and grandchildren, and all living beings now in the future." So let me conclude with a wish. My wish is that during this liminal period, betwixt and between, a broken world and a world waiting to be whole, may we join together in a world homecoming of our hearts. Thank you for listening.
Our final hymn is "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place." When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our stories from deep within, and we listen with a loving heart, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the thought of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. We will now extinguish our chalice. Come into the light. There's a place for you here, and you will arrive with your friends gathered near. Reach up for the lights. There is And now for our closing words.
Bring Happiness by Barbara Cheatham. And now we take our leave before we gather here again. May each of us bring happiness into another's life. May we each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity. And may we remain together in spirit till the hour we meet again. Announcements. For updates of our church activities, please check your e-news and our website for details. Stay safe, be well, go now in peace.